Task Episode 7, A Still Small Voice, wraps up the gripping HBO crime series with a few more deaths, a couple more twists, and one bittersweet ending that hints that maybe, just maybe, our favorite surviving characters might end up okay. Spoilers for Task Episode 7, A Still Small Voice, now streaming on HBO Max. Episode 7 follows the fallout of last week's installment, where it was revealed that Robbie Prendergast, played by Tom Pelphrey, pulled one over on Darkheart's gang members Jason Wilkes and Perry Dorazzo. The bag of cash he had used to lure them into the woods was actually stuffed with travel brochures. The real money was delivered to his niece Maeve, played by Emilia Jones, by Robbie's final collaborator Shelley, played by Mickey Sumner. Even though Maeve cleverly hides the money in her chicken coop, the Darkhearts are onto her as Robbie's last surviving adult ally. The episode climaxes with a tense showdown between FBI agents Tom Brandis, played by Mark Ruffalo, and Aaliyah Clinton, played by Thuso Mbedu, and Jason as he holds Maeve hostage. So who dies in the task finale? Who makes it out alive? Where does Maeve go with Robbie's kids at the end? Why doesn't Tom officially adopt Sam, played by Ben Doherty? And does crooked cop Grasso, played by Fabienne Frankel, find a way towards redemption? Here's everything you need to know about how Task ends. Who dies in the finale? There are two major deaths in the Task finale. First, Jason Wilkes finally learns that his friend and mentor Perry murdered his wife Erin, played by Margarita Leviva. Jason wastes precious little time enacting his revenge, killing Perry as he bathes in a nearby river. Sam Keeley, who plays Jason, revealed that shooting the scene was extra rough because he and Jamie McShane, who plays Perry, became super close while filming. I think that was a rough scene to film because, we all became very close on the set with amazing cast, Keeley said. They lived next door to each other and spent weekends hanging out. That was challenging to say the least, but I think that was what was exciting about it because it just felt like we were doing real work. Like we really had to go there to those places, Keeley added. And I think it shows in the scene. Like, it's awful. With his last words, Perry warns Jason that the rest of the Darkhearts are arriving to kill him for his repeated failures as local leader. Jason escapes and heads to the Prendergast house. Meanwhile, Grasso decides to flip on the Darkhearts. When he tells his own crooked handler, Michael Dorsey, played by Raphael Sbarge, that he's going to come clean, Mike tries to convince him not to by revealing that Maeve has the money and the Darkhearts are on the way. Grasso then has to shoot his way out of his own home when gang members close in. He suffers a gunshot to the torso, but still manages to drive all the way to Maeve to warn her and the kids that they're coming for you. However, before Maeve can get herself and the kids away, Jason arrives and demands she fork over the money. While she takes him to where she stashed the cash, in the chicken coop, Tom and Alia show up. Jason holds Maeve hostage with a gun at her head as they hide in the coop. Nearly out of it, Grasso warns Tom and Alia that Jason's here, and Tom calls for backup. Tom is almost shot by Jason from the coop, but is lured away by the sound of Alia shooting a Darkheart in the house. Jason then attempts to escape, but Maeve screams, drawing the agents to her. Emilia Jones shared her experience filming these intense scenes. I had the scenes in episode 7 where literally I was running for my life and we got to do all of our own stunts. Actually, I remember I said to Sam, let's go for it. Let's go for it. He was like, are you sure? Are you sure? So we were literally just tackling each other and I was fighting for my life. And then they'd call cut and he'd be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? She said. My adrenaline was high throughout the whole of the latter half of the show. It was really fun to do. Jason holds Maeve at gunpoint while Tom and Alia close in. Ultimately, though, Grasso shoots and kills Jason from the back seat of his car. So Jason and Perry die, Grasso is able to get to the hospital in time, and Tom quietly leaves the money with Maeve. Does Maeve take the kids to Canada? At the end of Task, Maeve decides to pack up her car and leave Delco with cousins Harper, played by Kennedy Moyer, and Wyatt, played by Oliver Eisenson. Because it's not explicitly stated where she's taking them, You might be wondering if Maeve decided to follow Robbie's dream of moving the family to Canada. According to showrunner Brad Ingelsby, this would be incorrect. "I think it's a totally different path," Ingelsby said. "I think Maeve is like, yeah, she loves that Robbie got them the money, but she's blazing her own trail. In my head, they were going to North Carolina or something. I don't know why. I don't know why it was there, but I just thought, oh, they're gonna like Wilmington or something. They're gonna make a life down there, and they're going to leave this place behind." Ingelsby also stressed that he thinks the surviving Prendergrass kids are going to be okay. Maeve has some identity independence now, and Harper and Wyatt are going to be okay because they have Maeve. "She's such a loving presence in this show," he said. "I think the audience will hopefully root on Maeve at the end of this." So Maeve, Harper, and Wyatt are living it up, free of the dark hearts, in Wilmington, North Carolina. Why doesn't Tom keep Sam in the task finale? One of the loveliest developments in the task finale is watching how close Tom gets with little Sam. However, Tom makes the difficult decision to let another family permanently adopt the sweet orphan boy. Why can't Tom and Sam be a found father and son duo forever? The ending was tough, showrunner Brad Ingelsby admitted, saying that multiple people did ask him why Tom doesn't keep Sam. "But I always said, well, the show isn't about that. The show is about a journey." For Ingelsby, it was more important that Tom learned to accept the son he already had, Ethan, played by Andrew Russell. Task ends with Tom giving an emotional speech to the judge during Ethan's sentencing that acknowledges his son's challenges, but ultimately affirms his love for him. "I think it's a hopeful ending," Ingelsby said. "There's a lot of uncertainty in Tom. He knows what it was like to live with Ethan and the challenges that Ethan has and the ones he presents. But I think Tom is ready to face the challenges now, whereas at the beginning of the story, he wasn't." Ingelsby explained that it was through forgiveness, a concept that's at the core of the show's omnipresent Catholicism, that Tom is able to move forward in life. "Not that it's going to be easy, but as he says in the speech, it was really hard, but there was also a lot of joy," Ingelsby said. "I think I want the audience to leave. I want them to think that he's going to be okay." Will there be a Task Season 2? Task was envisioned as a limited series, but Brad Ingelsby suggested that he wouldn't mind returning to the show and characters. "I'd love to do another season of Task if there's an appetite for it," Ingelsby said. "As long as people want to watch these stories, then I'll continue to write them." When asked if she'd like to return as Aaliyah Clinton, the character who seems most poised to continue the work of being on an FBI task force, Thusom Beidou said, "Oh, 100%. I think Aaliyah aspires to be in Kathleen's position where she could head the FBI or a task force," Mbedu said. "Yes, oh, 100%. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more.